back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore positive. Nobody more positive than this guy, and he brings it here each and every Thursday from 3 until 5 on the Dennis Koulatsos Show. He is out on the showroom at Coons Ford Security Boulevard when he is not out somewhere casting a rod into water and contemplating deeper thoughts here in 2020. Using all this downtime, not watching baseball, Dennis Koulatsos, right? You're using your time wisely. And I must say that in spending the time in North Carolina last week, and I wrote openly about how appalled I was and nobody was wearing a mask, I did see lots of people socially distancing, not only on the beach, but also with a fishing rod. There were lots and lots of families fishing down in North Carolina.
Oh, it's great family fun. It's great family time. And as long as you do it the right way, Nestor, as you've seen everywhere, you can be pretty safe. Even family members stationed 6, 7, 8 feet apart, casting a rod into the surf, the ocean, the sea breeze, alone in your thoughts, or maybe you have your earbuds on listening to a podcast or just music. It's a good way to spend some time and use this time as a period of growth and reflection.
Well, we cranked up some music on the beach, and we followed all the crab adventures in the sands. And, it's not like Ocean City, though, where, down in North Carolina. It's not like there's a lot of, people walking by or whatever. Every once in a while somebody comes by. But more than anything, to the left and to the right, these giant rods, out into the water. And you'd see fish coming out, dolphins up in the surf and whatnot. And I thought, you know what? Next time I come back, my wife and I were literally on the sand. I said, I'm never going to golf with you. She understands this, and I'm not going to be a golf person. I said, but the fishing thing, now that I'm in my 50s and I'm getting AARP ads, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking the fishing thing would be something that I'm going to take up. So that's why I've been talking to you more about it lately. I had Tony Tochterman on. I had Dan Rodricks on. We were talking about fly fishing a couple weeks ago. So if this baseball and football thing doesn't come back, I could see me picking up fishing in the fall, just as something to do on Saturday and Sunday if we don't have football.
I think it's something you will enjoy. It's very enjoyable. I've been doing it for a lifetime, and I have a lot more success in the stream, river, or lake or ocean than I've had on the golf course. It's a lot less frustrating. It's a lot more fun. You become one with nature. You see a lot of beautiful things, sea creatures, sea life, animal life, etc. And you meet a lot of nice people too. A lot of people that fish have a kindred spirit among them, and everybody's got a great fish stories and great pictures, and you make great memories when you're out there on the water.
Well, I'm going to give you a great fish story here that you'll appreciate because I told my wife about this. I used to fish with my my Aunt Claire. Loved to fish. She kept a little sunfish in this little pond up in Delaware. Her and her family always out fishing. So I fished with them when I was a child, and I also crabbed. And they would come down and visit my parents, and we would crab over Bear Creek. So I'm with my wife last Tuesday night. And, the Costa family was actually down there vacationing at the same time, same place down in the Outer Banks. And we're up in Corolla, and we were taking a nighttime walk by the horses, where the horses are, and the Currituck Beach Lighthouse. And we walked out onto the Sound, and there's families everywhere, Dennis. I mean, small, medium, large, black, white, young, old, people everywhere, right? Socially distancing for the most part. It was a beautiful sunset, but the crabs had all come up. And everybody was out with crab pots and chicken necks, and they were throwing this out. And I had to tell my wife that, I went crabbing a lot as a kid on Bear Creek, and we had the little cages, and we went down the back river, and we would, you had to be really, really gentle with the net, and you didn't really want to have a net. You wanted to have more of a cage, and you had to get the crab out of there quick. So we did a lot of crabbing back in the day, but watching full-on families, with their kids and all of it out on the Sound, and everybody's trying to catch crabs at dusk. It was really, really fun. It was good times.
No, it sounds like it. Back when I used to fish in Back River, when you could fish in Back River, the first time I realized there were crabs in there, I had 3 or 4 fish in a stringer, and I caught another fish, and I lifted up my stringer to put my fish on. It was about a half a dozen crabs hanging off of my fish, trying to eat them. And so the next time I went back, I definitely had a crab cage and started bringing some blue crab home for Mom. She couldn't believe it. And back then, the water, of course, was much cleaner than it is now.
Well, Yeah, and I guess for all of that, we're trying to clean things up. And, I told the story. I don't know if I told you this or not. I probably should tell you this. This is a good on-air story when we're not talking about baseball or football. My wife and I were in Hawaii for the first time in our lives, like 7 months ago. And we've been all over the world, and I've been on beaches, everywhere. I love beaches. It's what I do. By the way, I do not love mosquitoes. I point this out again. Mosquitoes are the human scourge, so I do whatever I can do to avoid them. So I do not like mosquitoes. They love me. It's whatever the positive, negative blood type whatever I am, they love me.
It's that sweet blood you have.
It's that sweet Venezuelan blood. Yeah, it's what it is.
That positive blood attracts mosquitoes.
Yeah, so, I love beaches. So we're on the beach first day in Maui, okay? And we're walking along, and we saw this turtle. And I took a picture of it with my wife with this giant turtle. We saw more turtles in North Carolina, by the way. Turtles everywhere in North Carolina. Side of the road. I had to get out of the car twice and, move the turtle in the right direction, literally, on the trip. So I see this turtle down on the beach in Hawaii. And the turtle's, 6 feet. I mean, it's a giant turtle, right? And we were worried that it might be alive or dead. We didn't know. It was just sunning itself. The turtle was moving, breathing. It was fine. It was just up on the rocks, up on the sand. And I went over near the turtle, and I looked down, and I saw all this colorful stuff. And I looked down, I'm like, is that coral? What is that? Dennis, it was plastic, okay? And when you think about, do you know the little bread ties, the little yellow and red and blue bread ties? Sometimes when you got the newspaper when you were a kid, they would tie it, the little plastic things. If you would imagine those little plastic ties broken into a trillion little pieces, and I looked down in the sand, and I held the sand up in my hand, and all I could see were little plastic pieces. This is on the beach of Maui. And I'm talking not like, Dennis, it was everywhere. It was a part of the sand. You would pick the sand up, and you'd see the plastic in the sand. And I saw the turtle there, and I thought, one day I'm going to tell that story on the air, and there it is. So I wanted to tell that story, but it was worrisome to me to be on the beaches of Maui and find that the first thing.
See, what's even more worrisome is as beautiful as those turtles are, they attract in Hawaii in particular. They attract tiger sharks. Tiger sharks, of course, have the jaws that are capable of breaking those shells open, and that's why when you hear a shark attack in Hawaii, it's usually fatal because once a tiger shark latches on, it just doesn't let go because they're used to breaking those beautiful turtle shells wide open. That's what they feed on. So you got to be careful. The beautiful crystal clear waters to swim in, but you got to be alert for those ambush predators in the form of those tiger sharks.
Well, a shark attacked someone in Nags Head 2 weeks ago. My son gave me the boogie board. I stayed out of the water for the most. The water's kind of cold, but it wasn't like a great surf when we were down there. It's not like a great surfing beach, but the shark attacks and I think people not being in the water and animals sort of during this time where everybody's been home, wandering the earth and all that. But it was really, really special watching the sunset down in Carolina and watching just families fishing and crabbing. So maybe think of you because we don't have baseball and football. Dan, are we going to play baseball? I mean, I know I ask this every week, but this is just this week's question. As the 4th of July comes here, right? We don't have any parades.
Yeah, it looks that way, and I'm glad. Look, 60 games, I think they can hold my attention for that long. It sounds a lot better to me as a casual fan than 163 games. And I think once they start playing ball, Nestor, I'm going to do all I can to watch an entire season, albeit an abbreviated one. But
really?
For the first time in my life, I'm going to tune in and try to learn the players and just, look, hopefully the Orioles can get out of the gate fast and make a run and really make it interesting for us hometown fans.
Well, I told Luke, we drove the back roads down in North Carolina, and we drove the back road back. My wife had never been over the bridge tunnel. You been over the bridge tunnel in Norfolk?
I have not, no.
Well, I mean, I've only been over it once myself, and, at 52, I said to my wife, let's do the bridge tunnel. It's $14, and I sort of wonder what was on the eastern shore of Virginia, like below Ocean City and Snow Hill, and I got a tour. It's there's a train track that runs next to the highway, and there are oyster beds. And other than that, that's what you got down there. So if you love oysters, it's all good. But, going that road, that back road, I did 301. I passed Bowie on the way down to Waldorf and Prince Frederick and Calvert County, and then I passed Norfolk. So I went past both of the Bowie Bay Sox and the Norfolk Tides. I went past both of their stadia, and so it did get me thinking about baseball a little bit as I passed these towns and thought, what would downtown Norfolk look like on a Tides night when Adley Rutschman is batting cleanup this summer, right?
Hey, it might be worthwhile to take a look at him. But look, I hope to see him on TV very soon here. Give us some things to watch as things are starting to open up, and hopefully people can stay away from each other long enough to keep this virus heading in the right direction for us. That way we can enjoy our fall sports.
Well, I know you're an Ocean City guy. One day we'll get you down there to the White Sands and the kite flying and the wild horses of Corolla in North Carolina. But it was a nice little trip, a little further to drive, but it was nice to be socially distanced, especially out on the beach. I know you're trying to utilize this time well this summer with your family as well. And tell me what's going to Coons Fork, because we haven't talked about that in a while. Are we at the point where 21s are coming in? And I would think with the world kind of being shut down for a couple of months, what has it done to the automotive industry in regard to making cars and having that availability?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. So the factories are back to running full steam ahead. They've added a third shift, at least Ford Motor Company has. The supply has dwindled down. The demand is actually very, very high. We're having a hard time right now getting vehicles. I'm paying top dollar for trade-ins. I've contacted all of our customers and said, hey, look, I'll give you extra money for your vehicle. So it's been a big supply and demand situation to our benefit. And so the industry is very strong, still 0% for 72 months. You can tell more people are driving because my body shop's filling up again. So in spite of all the safety devices, people are still not paying attention. They're still, eating in their cars or doing whatever and not paying attention, running into each other. But the industry as a whole, Nestor, is very, very good. And that's a great economic indicator. When the car business is good, the whole country's good. So, and the reverse is also true.
Well, we're going to see you on Thursday here. I'll check in with you as well. Dennis Koulatsos joining us here, as he does each and every Thursday from 3 until 5, and of course with the replay on Sunday morning. And I would think we could be a couple of weeks away from talking about football. They're going to try to do this. It certainly has not gone well at the collegiate level for COVID, right?
Yeah, the nice thing for the NFL is they can see what's happening with all these other sports, so they can take safety measures, so that way they're able to actually go to camp. July 28th, I believe, is their target date.
That sounds like it's right around the corner as we get on the 4th of July. Hot dogs, watermelon, fried chicken, National Fried Chicken Days Monday for our sponsors at Royal Farms. So we got it all going on here for summer. I got my tan rolling, I'm shaved up, and I'm ready to start getting some Baltimore Positive stuff out there. Getting a little baseball this week, a little Americana, and certainly some Baltimore Positive with Don Moeller coming up as well. Tune in to Dennis 3 to 5 on Thursday. Den, take care of yourself. We'll see you at Coons Ford, all right? There he goes, Dennis Koulatsos, 3 until 5, D Koulatsos Show, the way to find him out on Twitter. Nasty at WNST.net finds me, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, local, Baltimore Positive. Stay with us.